Top 10 most frequently asked questions about GDPR.
GDPR is a hot topic at the moment. Whether we like it or not, it's coming in a few months. Now, we get asked lots of questions about it, so we thought we'd compile a top 10 of the current favourites.
Number 1. Do I have to email all my customers and reconfirm their opt-in?
Now, whilst it is good etiquette to re-qualify and reconfirm the interest of your subscriber base, GDPR does not require you to do this. GDPR uses the term legitimate interests. This is to describe people that are already customers of yours or may have previously inquired with you. These people, through historic contact with you, have a legitimate interest in your business. Now, it's worth noting here that legitimate interests cannot be used to send completely unsolicited email marketing to people that you've never contacted before. You cannot assume that everybody out there has a legitimate interest in your products or services.
Number 2. Do I have to appoint a DPO?
Now, you do have to have a DPO, yes. You don't have to appoint a dedicated DPO, but someone in your organisation will need to take responsibility for this role. GDPR did initially have a clause that related to companies with over 150 employees. This has now been removed, so it applies to everybody.
Number 3. What are the fines for a breach?
Well, in short, they are pretty big. It's either up to 20 million euros or 4% of your business's global turnover. These will probably be scaled accordingly depending on the business. But either ways, GDPR is not something you'd want to fall on the wrong side of.
Number 4. Is a soft opt-in acceptable?
No, it isn't. A soft opt-in is when you have a pre-ticked box on your order confirmation page or web sign-up form. This means that the contact is automatically added, so even if they didn't want to or they just didn't see the box, they are added to your list. Now, under GDPR, a positive opt-in is required. This means that the contact has to engage in a positive activity to confirm their addition to your list, i.e. to put a tick in an empty box.
Number 5. Can I use to purchase data?
Under GDPR, as we've outlined, everybody needs to have followed a positive opt-in and to be expecting your email. So in relation to purchase lists, as well as meeting this criteria, you must have this proof on file for every contact on the list.
Number 6. Can I still use my current offshore-based service supplier?
Now, if your current supplier is based inside the EU, then yes, you can. If you are using a supplier outside of the EU, then GDPR says that an agreement must be in place and ratified by the EU that gives adequate protection to the rights of an EU citizen. Now, if we take the US as an example, now whilst the US has Privacy Shield in place, this currently does not meet the approval of the EU. So at this time, no, you cannot use a supplier based in the US.
Number 7. Can I still keep my customers' data after they've stopped buying my products?
GDPR outlines something called the right to forget. This means that you must delete all data belonging to a contact who has ceased to be a customer of yours.
Number 8. How will Brexit affect GDPR?
When, or if we leave the EU, our government have already said that they will adopt GDPR. So Brexit will have no effect on GDPR. It'll still apply to us here in the UK.
Number 9. Do I have to get GDPR accredited by the ICO or a compliance company?
Now, at this time, there is no official body or accreditation. We've seen a sharp increase in the amount of consultancies offering compliance reviews, but none of these are offering anything that is a mandatory requirement. You can self-certify. This means that you can produce a document in-house that confirms that you are operating within the requirements of GDPR.
Number 10. GDPR means I can email anybody under the legitimate interest clause, right?
No, it definitely doesn't. We've seen lots of people claiming that they can cold email anybody because they might have an interest in your products. This is completely incorrect. Legitimate interests means that you are only okay to continue mailing your current contacts because they have expressed an interest in your products and or services previously, and therefore they have a legitimate interest in your company. Now, a current contact is someone who has bought from you or inquired with you previously. Okay, so there we are. That's the 10 most frequently asked GDPR questions. I'm sure in the next few months we'll be adding more to this list, so be sure to check back soon. Thank you.